Alright, well, greetings and welcome to an unofficial Clipper run from Infinite Flight. Now, from the time being I recorded this, I did not have an official name on my mind. So in this video, though Pan Am may be gone forever, though she ceased operations 30 years ago on December 4th, 1991, she'll fly in my heart and in my imagination forever. And this video is a fictionalization using Infinite Flight about it. Today's flight will be going from Albuquerque, New Mexico, known as Duke City, to Grand Junction, Colorado. Today's flight is a CARF run, known as Civil Air Reserve Fleet run. And in this video, we are bringing personnel and supplies to such place. Now, of course, the reason why we're doing this is because we're there to help friends, family, and acquaintances of ours. And here we go. We're doing the pre-flight here. And what we're doing here is we're going to go to Grand Junction, Colorado to help friends, family, and acquaintances, like I said here, because in my imagination, to preserve the integrity of the word fiction, I use Pan American World Airways quite a bit, and most of the time, they were the first on the scene. When and if a friend, family, or acquaintance of mine is either sick in that area or missing, Pan Am, basically, so to speak, was the first airline to respond with the CARF, known as the Civil Air Reserve Fleet. As you can see here, I'm pretending that this airplane here is part of the Civil Air Reserve Fleet to go help a friend, family, and acquaintance of ours in Grand Junction. They're bringing them supplies and each and everything you can think of. Even when I myself was sick, or when friends, family, and acquaintances were sick, physically, emotionally, or even injured, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, Pan American World Airways was one of the first airlines to respond. Or if anything happened to any of our friends, family, and acquaintances in my fictional world, well, they'd come. And of course, even in real life, when I myself, friends, family, and acquaintances are injured and or sick, you got to go to my imagination, and Pan American World Airways responds. Yeah, they usually come with like water, things like that, and not to mention that this airplane is carrying a lot of potable water in its cargo hold to help you all out, as well as, of course, some personnel to help out. Now, we got to be quick, though, because the fact of the matter is, I don't think this friend, family, or acquaintance member could wait. This friend, family, or acquaintance could wait. So here I am, just making sure that the control surfaces have free movement. And of course, the emergency plan is if I have an engine failure before V1, I will land straight ahead. I will close the throttle. I'll either go left or to the right and stop. If I have an engine failure after V1 or VR, I'll come right back in, the way I got out. And along with that, if for some reason I can't make it past Duke City, and of course the point to not go back to Duke City or land either at the Coronado Airport or Double Eagle is the Marriott in Uptown. I will land at either one of those airports. And if not, I will land at Santa Fe Municipal Airport or wherever else. Not a good flight plan, but oh well. Alright, anyway. Note that this video is just fictional, it's not real. And, of course, in this video, this usually would have been done by a C-5 Galaxy or C-141 Starlifter or C-130 Hercules. But I see it as therefore possible to use a Pan Am 747 to help keep the legacy alive. Like in this video, we're off to Grand Junction at this point. So here we are, we're taking off now. Personnel is on board and should be good to go from here. And as of right now, we are headed, of course, down runway 08 at Albuquerque International Sunport in Duke City. And at this point, of course, be advised that there's going to be sharp turns and you name it. Because not only are we in a hurry to get to Grand Junction, but also I'm holding an iPod Touch and it's hard to turn and make landings. And because I want to make this video really badly, spoiler alert, there's not much landing footage. So enjoy a slideshow at the end. And of course, in the slideshow, if you see anything that looks like ground to you, whatever, bedtime alert. I have enough coffee, and of course, in my system from the time being I recorded this video. And Oh, whatever, I could be up another hour. Being in bed at 9 is for basics, or for those who are in military school for corrective action. But anyway, pardon the sharp turns and movements here because I have an iPod Touch and it's hard to control. And forgive the landing aids right there because those tend to help me, but not very much. Okay, so here we go. We're leaving Duke City and we're headed for Grand Junction, Colorado to bring those supplies as I mentioned. So we're going to be skirting some of the filming areas in Duke City a little bit, as you can see here. We're going to go to my neck of the woods in Duke City and push on to Grand Junction. Now, I don't push on to Grand Junction. I just stopped over in Farmington and recorded once again and flew to Grand Junction from there. Yeah, either way, landing is not my strength, so at the end of the video, you'll more than likely come across the slideshow. Yes, here's a flyby view. We're headed into my neck of the woods. I took some screenshots for the slideshow, and oh, sharp turn. Yeah, like I said from before, I was holding an iPod Touch, and it makes it very difficult for me to record. But just bear in mind that I also have a heart to entertain as well. Especially because a lot of the airliners, as of right now, that I wanted to be a pilot for when I was a kid have ceased operations, and Pan Am happens to be one of them. I can only live this out in the form of entertainment. And bear in mind that yes, I do have a desire to be monetized on this channel, so if there's anything I can do better or any requests, things like that, and or say better, please let me know in the comment box below, and I will appeal to that as best I can. And if for some reason this video makes you uncomfortable because I flew in a place you didn't want me to, please send me messages and or leave comments, and I will correct those as best as I can. Thank you. Okay, here we are in Duke City, flying over my neck of the woods, and sure enough, I'm going to engage the autopilot really soon. And while I engage the autopilot, I'm going to go ahead and say that, of course, dreams fulfilled, even if it meant just to play mobile flight simulator games, because for the time being, when I recorded this video, I've had it with desktop and laptop computers, at least for now. And I understand that one of the consequences here is that I can't fly the military cargo planes for the time being because the military cargo plane options on Infinite Flight Mobile are not good. Because the fact of the matter is, since they're in low visibility gray, here's one thing in my world that meets the criteria for fiction. Use previous colors from before, like the United States Air Force's 70s camouflage, like the Captain Sim C-130 I primarily had flown, as well as, of course, the lizard camo from Europe. Those are okay. As well as, of course, the older colors of the C5 Galaxy, when it was with a black nose, white, gray belly, etc. Those are okay. And of course, this here ought to be okay. Now, other aircraft, like if I were to fly the Fighting Falcon at all, I would have to use the test colors or something like that, because the fact of the matter is that the Fighting Falcon, as of right now, from when I recorded this video, that is in active service right now. Now, of course, if you were to make fiction at all with me, certain aircraft, certain vehicles, and certain airliners, as well as certain colors, may not be in active service. You got to use something from the past a little bit, so it's a blast from the past. So as of right now, we're leaving the Duke, fulfilling a dream I always wanted, be a Pan Am pilot a little bit, even in the form of entertainment. And now we've left the Duke. We're in Sandoval County line, and autopilot is engaged. It's been engaged this whole time. And while we're at it, of course, I'm going to tell you a little more about Pan Am, as you can see here. Look here. We're in the cockpit, checking on everybody, making sure everyone's alright, and While we're at it, of course, Pan Am, of course, is a historical airline of some kind. Founded in late October 1927 in Key West, Florida, and I feel so bummed out from the last time I went to Key West, Florida, because I wish I'd gone to Pan Am headquarters to let them know that, yes, I think of your airline all the time. Or, unless I went parallel to it and or perpendicular to it, and I didn't bother to look at it because our tour guide was the one driving the bike while I was not. So, one of the biggest regrets about Pan Am I have too is not going to their birthplace. Now, of course, on December 4th, 1991, the airline ceases operations. That's terrible. Now, of course, Pan Am was the airline involved in the Lockerbie air disaster, when, of course, militants brought down a Pan Am 747 named Clipper Maid of the Seas over Lockerbie, Scotland, on December 21st, 1988. Now, this video, no, I'm not making a Lockerbie parody or whatever. It's just a fictional transport of some kind. And while we're at it, of course, this happened in real life too, that Pan Am was also part of the CARF. CARF means Civil Air Reserve Fleet. So we're doing a Civil Air Reserve Fleet operation here, going to Grand Junction. Once again, looking around the cockpit, living the dream, and here we are. Now, I wish I had flown a Pan Am 707 as well, because my heart desired to fly that the most. And not to mention the 707 and 47 were actually operated by Pan Am, the first ones. And of course, Pan American World Airways, or Pan Am for short, was the launch customer for both of which. And of course, the 707 and 47 were introduced with Pan American World Airways. And in this video, I'm making it as a way to honor Pan Am as much as I can. And I don't think there's anything wrong, with flying from Albuquerque to Grand Junction fictionally with a Pan Am 747. In fact, I see it as a viable option. It can be done. It's just difficult, especially if you have an iPod Touch. And bear in mind that I did crash land in Grand Junction, so enjoy a slideshow. While the slideshow is in progress, I will bring you to one more thing. Though Pan American World Airways had ceased operations 30 years ago, there's always somebody's imagination and somebody's heart where the airline will fly forever. And that's mine. And as you can see in the slideshow from the first few slides, my supposed landing, but the actual landing footage was not shown, because I know what you're going to think of it. And the fact of the matter is, landing is very difficult for anyone to do. But, at least I got everybody there, and of course the supplies. And as of right now, Pan Am continues to fly in my heart and my imagination forever. Okay, the flight. The flight was from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Grand Junction, Colorado. Aircraft type, Boeing 747-200 according to Infinite Flight. Airline, Pan American World Airways. Clipper, Gem of the Ocean. I'll say I had a good flight, just that who could ever go wrong about landing, which I long to perfect someday. If there's anything you want me to say and or do better, or if you have any requests, please let me know in the comment box below, as I still desire to be monetized from these channels. So, from the time being I recorded this video, that is our show. If you like, please like and subscribe. We'll see you all around. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.